Hello and welcome to Nerus. Today we'll be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, was right after Nerus and Shax shared a very intimate moment under the stars. So, without further ado, let's get started.
I opened my eyes and got greeted by the dormitory's wallpaper. My first thought of the day was that it was surprising I had managed to sleep through the entire night. And I noticed a certain tiny shapeshifter snuggling to my chest. I know he said he was going to sleep with me, but I did not imagine he would be so clingy. But Kel, if he doesn't look cute. I am glad I slept well. I will hate to wake him up in the middle of the night. I still didn't want to move from the bed, if only not to disturb Shax's sleep for a bit longer. I lay there, patting the feathers on his head as he snuffled. But the day had to start at some point, so after around a few minutes, I started shaking the adorable creature awake.
Just a couple more minutes.
I sighed. After some consideration, threw the sheets back and moved away a bit. This seemed to irritate Shax enough for him to open his eyes.
Sebos? What are you? Oh.
Shax became paralyzed at the sight of me in the same bed as him. The fact I was naked probably helped elicit the reaction. It wasn't all that common for a shapeshifter to feel shame when seeing a nude body. That was another aspect that made Shax somehow irregular. But it was endearing, and easy to poke fun at. Do not tell me you forgot in whose bed you were sleeping.
Give me a break. I just woke up.
The small shapeshifter rubbed his eyes one at a time. I kept lying on my side, with a seemingly bored look on my face. Although I couldn't help but grin as his cheeks became redder. What is wrong, Shax? It is not anything you didn't see last night. Or touch, for the matter.
You're doing this on purpose, you tease.
Am I really teasing? If you want anything, you just need to say it, Shax.
Oh, knock it off.
He threw a pillow right into my face. I picked it up and used it to finally cover my genitals.
Besides, I touched them by accident.
Sorry. I thought it would be fun to pick on you a bit. A little revenge for yesterday.
Well, it's alright. You said something I can use against you.
Oh, how frightening. But for now, let us get ready for the day. After breakfast, I went straight into my study, as usual. Shax said he would go to pick up yesterday's mail and run an errand. It felt odd going back to my daily routine. Part of me wished every day could be like yesterday, but I still had a duty to fulfill, and I could not ignore it. I suppose I will need to juggle between going places with Shax and my obligations. It will not present a problem if I knew we had all the time in the world to be together, but that might not be the case anymore. Shax is right. Nomino couldn't have come up with this scheme at the worst time. A few minutes later, someone knocked on the door. Come in, Sebos. When the servant entered the room, the first thing I noticed is that he was carrying a package under one of his arms. Forgive the interruptions, Master. Lord Shax stopped by briefly to deliver this. Leave it on the side of the desk. As you wish. Incidentally, Master, I noticed something peculiar this morning. It was faint, but I felt a peculiar aroma coming from Lord Shax. The smell reminded me of the cologne you wear. Oh, yes. I let him try a bit of it last night after we came back. Oh, that makes sense. But I also noticed there were strands of white hair all over him. Why could that be, I wonder? The servant placed his hand on his chin, feigning ponderation. I felt blood rushing to my ears just from listening to his observations, which prompted me to lower them. Sebas picked up on this, and a look of understanding formed in his eyes. Sebas, you have never bothered into my business before. What possessed you to start doing it now? Oh my! It seems I have earned your anger somehow, Master. I simply wanted to wish the two of you the best of luck. I suppose he has been getting bolder after what happened last year. Yes, I appreciate it. No shoe. Away with you. And thank you. The servant giggled as he exited the room. I grunted and brought my hand up to my forehead. How come apparently everyone around me is so perceptive, for goodness sake? Minutes later, I opened the package Evos had brought me. Inside, there were several letters and files, but one of the latter in particular made me pause at once. With one eyebrow raised, I grabbed it. An update on the soul amnesia cases. I instinctively swallowed. At that moment, something came back to me, a sense of uneasiness I had forgotten I was capable of feeling. I wasn't even sure why. I received updates on this subject on a regular basis. They usually spoke of the ongoing research and the new or deceased patients. Where did the sizzling in the back of my head come from? With that question lingering, I pried the folder open. As of late, we have been receiving several reports of shapeshifters suddenly being afflicted with a great fever. After thoroughly investigating each case, the factor in common found between all patients in their status as a second generation of soul amnesiacs. No conclusive evidence linking the fevers to the soul amnesia itself has been found. However, we decided to inform all grave shapeshifter post-haste and preventive measure, as these cases might continue to spread in the foreseeable future. We recommend informing all underlings and to keep an eye on all soul amnesiacs. Please, consult with the doctor at first sign of symptoms. We will keep you updated on the situation. Thank you for your attention. Shapeshifters Department of Health. What the hell? Attached to the message, there were several pictures and clinical records of who I assume were of the patients experiencing apparent symptoms. I clicked my tongue as I browsed through the documents. And Shax is outside the house right now. Talk about a terrible timing. No, I shall not panic. Even they do not know for certain if this is happening because of the soul amnesia. The fever might spread to healthy shapeshifters soon enough. Perhaps it's a virus we haven't encountered so far. But what if it's a virus or a germ? Surely they will have noticed it already. Our doctors may specialize in some matters, but they are not incompetent when it comes to our biology. I attempted to calm myself, but the feeling something sinister was in the works wouldn't stop swelling inside my heart. Shax had looked as fine as ever today, both in the morning and during breakfast. He wasn't going suddenly to fall ill. However, the uneasiness didn't abandon me until around an hour later, when I saw the small shapeshifter enter the study with a bright smile on his face. He noticed my distress, so I handed him the document. Shax blinked in confusion at first, but as he read through it, a meaningful look appeared in his eyes.
I can see why would you be worried, but I feel perfectly healthy. Don't let this news get to you, alright?
I will try. I am worried because...
I know. Soul amnesia makes the prospect of anything happening to me really scary. I get it.
Indeed. If you say you feel alright, I believe you. But if you start feeling unwell, please tell me.
Will do.
Now then, what were you up to?
I went to buy some groceries and do some window shopping.
Were you looking for something?
That's a secret for now. So, what else is new today?
I opened my mouth as to speak, but I bit my tongue at the very last moment. A letter from Nomino had also arrived with a package that morning, but I wasn't sure it would be a good idea to tell Shax about it. However, I figured he would realize something was up from my misstep just now, so it was best to tell him. I received an update concerning the upcoming battle against the angels. It is scheduled to take place in 80 days.
80? Well, it could be worse.
I blinked, both surprised and relieved that he took it that well. He is more mature than he seems most of the time. I should give him more credit. It seems they wanted to do it sooner, but the angels recruited some new muscle Nomino does not know how to deal yet.
Must be a fearsome opponent if not even Nomino wants to mess with them.
I am somewhat concerned. I have not fought for the longest of time. I doubt my performance will be anything impressive.
What do you say we spar sometime, Nerus?
Did we not agree yesterday you will not be able to put much of a fight?
Yes, but we'll never know until we try. Besides, doing courier duty has done wonders for my physique. On the other hand, you haven't been exercising at all, have you?
Fine. I accept your challenge then.
That sounds like I'm in trouble.
The intention was to make it sound like he was in trouble. But when we got to do it... Shax kept sidestepping on my tackles. I wasn't by any means as slow or sloppy despite my size, but the tiny shapeshifter read every movement and I touched accordingly.
Don't get discouraged. You're still fast, Nerus. It's just your reflexes have become worn.
Does he really have no combat experience? In the end, after trying to grab him, I gave up. Not because I was tired, but because he wanted to take a break to play some games.
It shouldn't take long for you to get back in shape. They were some close calls back there.
Shax was putting his tabard back on. Indeed. It feels good to use my body after so long. Thank you for this, Shax.
You are welcome. I'm going to take a quick shower. Meet you at the parlor?
Of course. I nodded and after putting his hat back on, Shax sprinted towards the front of the mansion.
As soon as I entered my bedchamber, I slammed the door shut and fell on my knees to the floor. My entire body was trembling. My arms and legs felt heavy, as if rocks were strapped to them. Every fiber of my being was boiling. It was a revolting heat, nothing like the warm embraces I had shared with the great shapeshifter the night before. I wanted to puke my guts out just to rid myself of it. I trembled and wretched, but I managed to regain my composure by the end. I looked up, still panting, just around 3 more months. I can do this, Nerus.
I swear, no matter what, I will save you.
Hmm? I woke up alone in Nerus's bed, my vision blurry and disoriented. Even so, I expected a soft and warm body pressing against my back, or a big hand nudging me awake, but all of that was absent that morning. If you fall asleep next to a campfire, you expect to find at least embers there the next morning. But in this case, the whole campfire had gone missing at some point. Only a hint of ash remained. Not thinking much of it, I got off the bed and proceeded to put on my clothes. On a whim, I walked up to the window as I was arranging my tabard, and out there I saw the big white wolf. I squinted. It was shirtless on the ground, doing one-arm push-ups. I clicked my tongue, admiring the ease with which he lifted his considerable frame. I guess he did have a liking for exercising after all. I hurried up. I hurried up on getting dressed and then I walked downstairs. By the time I got down there, he had switched to doing pull-ups from a big branch. His arm and chest muscles bulged under his fur with every repetition. I considered just watching in silence, but he had heard me getting close.
Hmm. Good morning, Shax.
Morning, Nidus. What are you doing?
I didn't remember. Working out being this fun.
Guess training these last few days gave you a reminder, no?
Indeed. Oh,
The branch above Nidus cracked and snapped. Nidus fell to the ground on his butt, the branch barely missing his head on its way down. Despite this, the wolf broke one hand to his belly and laughed. I had never heard him do until then. I couldn't help but join him in his enthusiasm.
This feels good. Sable should have breakfast ready any time now. Let us depart out to the dining hall.
The great shapeshifter got back to his feet and retrieved the rest of his clothes from another branch nearby. Sure. By the way, Nerus,
Yes?
if you don't mind, I'm going out to work early today. There is something I want to go pick up.
Oh,
He looked at me, curiosity in his eyes. His mouth opened, his tongue ready to enunciate a question. But, in the end, he shrugged and said,
it is all right. You can manage your time as you wish.
Yes. Soon after, Nerus started laughing after remembering his incident with the branch. And then we went inside the house.
Hmm, there he is. I swam deeper into the great architect hall. During those last few days, I had been snooping for information on Nomino's location during work hours. As soon as I got word of him visiting the hall that day, I rushed the delivery I had been making and teleported there. Something is odd, though. Why is he at the hall today? He's alone, and there is nothing scheduled to happen here anytime soon.
Does he know I'm coming?
That has to be it.
That didn't deter me, however. I swam to one of the pews and exchanged places with it.
Once in there, I walked up to the stage, where the leader of all shapeshifters was waiting. Nomino, you have been asking around about me. That's right. Do you know why? The big white does not know you are here. Do you remember? Do you want to kill me? Me? Let's not jump to conclusions. I could never hope to defeat you, much less in this state. You know, we started doing sparring matches with Nerus, although they are most likely me trying to dodge his tackles since I can't fight back against him. Nerus. But even in those, it's hard not to run out of breath. I am in no condition to fight. What I want is to know what you intend. Why are you trying to bring an Aeon here? Nerus told me if things were that easy, then you would have done this much sooner. I think he's right. So what changed then? I always fulfill my promises,
What?
and my will is not that of the Aeons, but of God. Because of that, now is the time. We will cleanse all corruption down to its core. What does that even mean? Do you mean to betray the Aeons? Arrogant pests. One can't define or control God. I furrowed my eyebrows and stared at the shapeshifter in front of me. The more he spoke, the more I got confused. His posture was as neutral as always, but his voice, that didn't originate from anyone in particular, was filled with searing hatred. Okay, so you disagree with the Aeons over the way you see God. But what about the promise thing? What is that supposed to mean? Herald of Hope. Do you not recall that place? That old mansion? I have seen my fair share of mansions in my life. You're gonna have to be more specific. But what do the places I may have visited have to do with anything? Herald of Hope. Do you not recall that mansion painted in red? In the world with the blue sky? What are you talking about? Will you stop talking in puzzles and speak like a normal person? Goodness! The shapeshifter stared at me, dead silent. I analyzed him from head to toe, looking for any change in his demeanor. But he remained the same, shoulders and head down, arms hanging limp and legs crooked like he had trouble standing. Yet, the way he had just spoken had been suspicious. His words were filled with uncharacteristic clarity and conviction. Maybe there was meaning behind what he was saying, or maybe not. Whatever the case, he was trying to confuse me with it, so I moved on. Anyway, I see now that I'm not getting straightforward answers out of you, but I am relieved to hear you dislike the Eons. I don't agree with what they say either. Glad we are on the same page. So I will assume your intention isn't to end everything the way they intend to. Indeed. And in the event that I wanted to work toward the same goal, what should I do to assist you? When the battle comes, when you are rid of your disease, join the battle. You are smart, already know what to do. I'll consider it. I don't know if I can trust you just yet. If you wish to save this world from oblivion, you will realize there is no other choice. As I said, I'll think it over until we meet again, Nomino. Until then, I teleported away, and later I went back to work. I went over our conversation over and over again for the rest of the day, trying to decide whether I could consider him an ally or not. Nomino, the fierce shapeshifter. No one knows much about him beyond what can be seen on the surface. A loyal, if eccentric, ally of the Eons, looking to help them cleanse the life from all worldly corruption. Even the true nature of his magic is unknown to everyone. But what he told me contradicted that image. He trying to trick me? Or was that his true face? If he considered me a threat, then he could have tried to dispose of me right there. Those rumors about soul amnesiacs vanishing will make a perfect cover to make me disappear. Still, I can't help but feel uneasy. There's something off about him. He's the one that proposed a second battle in the first place. If he just wanted to keep things the way they are, he wouldn't have done that. From the sound of it, I will guess he's planning to strike against the Eons themselves somehow. What did he truly mean when he said the objective was to create a vessel? It's no use. At this rate, I won't make my mind up until the time for the second battle arrives. There, Nomino's objective should be revealed, and I should be able to make my choice.
Well then, what is it that you wanted to show me?
A few days later, after supper, I invited Nerus to the parlor with the promise of a surprise. His ears had perked up with interest. Don't you notice anything different in this room, Nerus? The great shapeshifter raised an eyebrow and looked around in the parlor, ears wiggling with curiosity.
No.
Look at the TV, Nerus.
Oh, what is this device?
A video game console? It's a secret I was shopping around for. You outmatch me in a real combat now, so let's have some game combat instead.
Can't argue against that. You can't even touch my toggles anymore.
In that same instant, Nerus broke into a sprint toward me. I suddenly realized that he was carrying me in his arms bridal style. He startled me a bit, but that was not the only reason my heart skipped a bit. You can be such a show-off, jeez!
Is it just me, or is your pulse increasing?
You can tell? Anyway, let's play video games now.
As you wish, my little prince.
I heard the great shapeshifter, who was sitting on the floor next to me, let out an exasperated sigh. Is something the matter, my big prince? Not used to being on a losing streak?
It isn't fair. These controllers are too small for my hands.
No way. I made sure to pick a console you could use.
Huh.
Sorry, I'll be more gentle so you can learn the game. I just couldn't resist turning the tables on you for once. I was being a little mean. At the start, I tried not to press Nerus too hard just yet, but he just kept committing mistakes or using raw super attacks, which I punished on instinct. He hadn't even left the corner in that last match, I think. Now that I was holding back, he seemed to be having a better time. He was smiling and performing much better now that he wasn't panicking. Well, for the most part. Hey, don't just mash, try to combo something for once.
Oh, so bossy.
Would you keep knocking me down or pushing me away? You could be doing a lot more damage.
By the way, Shax, I have been thinking about something.
Yes?
If, after fighting the angels again, we can still live, which I believe is what is going to happen, well, I'm going to quit being a great shapeshifter.
I felt my neck bulge as I made a physical effort to not take my eyes off the screen. Huh? You can just do that? Nice!
Huh. I expected you to be more surprised. It is a huge deal, you know.
It's not that. I clicked my tongue as I saw Nerus finally perform a combo on me. Damn! Anyhow, you never seem happy about your great shapeshifter duties, and every time you talk about it, it is to complain. It's unsurprising you want to get out.
You got a point. I am tired of all of this, of keeping appearances, of dealing with nobles or other great shapeshifters, of always the same story. It has been like this for so long, I cannot even remember how many years have passed. So many eras have gone by, yet we shapeshifters seem stuck in this sort of stasis. But if I abandon my duty, I will have nothing else left. That stillness was my entire world. I feared I will go hollow, to be frank. But now you are here. I believe I will be fine. We could settle down somewhere, more of your taste, like a bright town or a village. Or we could go explore many worlds if we don't feel like staying in a single place. I am fine with either. Maybe even blend in with the mortals if we want or need to. They will be gone eventually, true, but if we have each other, then... well, this is if you are willing to stick with me, that is.
Oh, why wouldn't I, silly? I threw the controller aside and launched at him, landing on his chest. Nerus soon enveloped me in his arms.
Thank you, Shax.
A sniff escaped him. I scratched the side of his face, trying to reassure him. Can you imagine if any other shapeshifter heard what he has just said? They would be either outraged or devastated. But as for me, I was happy he had found the courage to do this for his own sake, and, in part, for mine as well. No need to thank me, Nerus. Although, what will we do about Sebos? I don't know if he ever talked to you about it, but he really appreciates this job, so...
Are you concerned he might go hollow if we were to leave him behind?
Yes, it would be terrible if that happened.
It is a very valid concern. I will discuss the matter with him before the battle. I hope I can get him to be straightforward with me.
True. To be honest, what does surprise me is that this is something you can do to begin with.
I imagine it will not be easy. There is not any precedent for a great shapeshifter abandoning their position. I know a couple of shapeshifters that, while lacking in raw power when compared to me, are still strong and charismatic enough to fill my role. Perhaps I could work with Nomino to set one of them up as my successor.
It sounds so exciting when you put it that way. I bet the other shapeshifters will eat it up.
I do hope so, but everything will turn out alright, I promise.
I know, Nerus. I believe in you. And I will make sure that is what happens. I have so much I wanna tell you, Nerus. If only I had the courage to do it right now. You are willing to abandon even your rank because of me. You will still think of me the same way, even after you learn the truth, right? God, I love him. He calls me cute, but he's quite cute himself when you scratch the right places. Hey, can you help me up? Nerus grabbed me by the butt and lifted me up until I was at the eye level. I rested the tip of my nose against his as I scratched behind his ear. He closed his eyes and tilted his head to the side. You can be so damn adorable. I gave his snout a small peck. Seconds later, the great shapeshifter opened one eye.
He's betting all you wanted to do, Shax.
Were you hoping for something else?
I suppose so. I have been hoping to get more...
He gesticulated with his free hand as he looked for the right words.
physically intimate with you as of late.
I took some distance, just enough to look at him in the eyes. You know, I'm still shy when it comes to physical stuff. It's not that I want to be proactive, but basically, it will be easier if you started.
Oh, so I am in charge.
Yes, that's a good way to say it. After a moment of silence, Nerus reached out to the console and turned it off, and then the TV.
Let us move to my bedchamber in that case.
Eh? Right now?
Unless you would rather not.
No, I'm fine. I kind of have been waiting for you to make this move.
Good.
Without another word, the great shapeshifter got on his feet and carried me to his room.
You are getting hot again, Shax.
What did you expect? A torrent of ideas about what was about to happen had broken free. About what Nerus would do to me, how he would hold me, how he'd feel in me. I wasn't experienced in this aspect. The anticipation was killing me. And that hot anticipation crashed with a gust of cold doubt. Nerus was huge. Way larger than me. What if I couldn't accommodate him? What if I didn't have enough stamina to keep up? Or what if he realized he didn't find me attractive? He did call me cute a lot, but that didn't have to translate to being sexually attractive. I used to think it was the opposite. Even my heart hammering against my chest made me more nervous. What if he noticed it and thought I didn't want this to happen? A tornado had formed and was spinning in my head.
We can hold this off if you don't feel ready.
No, no. It's just a bit of breathing anxiety. It's all. Don't laugh.
My apologies. In any case, here we are.
I swallowed saliva as Nerus opened the door to his bedchamber and then stepped inside. He dropped me on the bed and removed his jacket before crawling onto it, his huge silhouette and 4 glittering red eyes looming over me.
If you want me to stop at any time, do tell me so.
I know. A shiver went down my spine as the bigger shapeshifter started undressing me. I almost closed my legs and reflexed when he brought his hands to my hips and began removing my underwear. He raised an eyebrow once it came off.
Ah, interesting.
Why are you surprised? I'm a beard reptile thing.
With a shapeshifter, you don't know for sure until you see it for yourself. Don't worry. I was hoping for this, actually.
Oh. Nerus started unbuttoning his shirt.
Now, let's take it slow. We have the entire night ahead of us.
Once our forms were laid bare to each other, he hugged me and his tongue pushed its way into my mouth. My anxiety started melting away. I relaxed and entrusted myself to the great shapeshifter. My soul burst in flames, filling me with a new, unknown, but pleasant heat. At first I thought that effervescent sensation was a bodily response. But once one of his fingers entered me while his tongue explored my body, I realized there was something else to it. My soul was craving for the rough way he handled my body, for his tender warmth, for him to get deeper inside me. I wonder if Nerus felt the same way, but I didn't need to ask. When I looked into his eyes, the predatory yet passionate gaze in them answered all my questions. He looked hungry, his fangs exposed, and a streak of saliva dripping from his mouth. He was horny, to be blunt. He must have been waiting for this to happen for a long time.
Is this okay?
Yes. Keep going, please. My heartbeat quickened when he nibbled my neck, and my nape after turning me around. Despite his fierce appearance, he wasn't doing anything but treating me with the utmost care, looking for new ways to express his immense affection for me. I craved after this new side of him as much as he did after me. He pulled his fingers out and dragged himself closer to me. His huge shadow covered me, and I felt his throbbing member resting on my buttock. Only then, I noticed how much had it grown.
I tried to look back at it, but Nerus shoved a finger in my mouth. A salty smell invaded my taste buds. I closed my eyes and suckled on it, wanting to take his scent and flavor. Nerus's deep voice resonated through the room as he chuckled.
I love how eager you get.
I didn't say anything, and instead answered by trying to take more of his thumb in my mouth. I couldn't see him, but I could bet my life there was a smoke smirk on Nerus's face. The bed creaked a bit as he shuffled some more behind me. I felt something hot and wet pressing in between my buttocks and soft fur against my back. I felt his voice rumble through my entire body as he spoke.
Don't forget, bite hard if it hurts too much.
Well, that was quite an episode. And in here, we got the answer to one of the most important mysteries in this visual novel. Can Shax take the net? And the answer is yes. Yes, he can. Oh yeah, we also found out Shax has recovered memories from his past life, and even if we do not know who he really is quite yet, we do know he loves Nerus. Although he is hiding important information from him, and we don't know what that is yet. Also, it seems like Shax's well-being is in danger because of all the disappearances of soul amnesiacs. I'd like to talk more about this chapter, but I'll save my thoughts for the next episode, where I'll fully discuss my theories with Bear. Also, if you are watching this on a playlist, I don't want to keep you waiting to watch the last part of the prologue. So stay tuned, and remember to comment your own theories and tell Nero if you want us to keep reading this visual novel. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye!